The Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra is shaping up to be one of the most anticipated smartphones of the next generation, and the rumors, leaks, and whispers surrounding this upcoming flagship are already creating a storm in the tech world. Whether you're a longtime Samsung fan, a smartphone enthusiast, or just curious about where the mobile industry is heading, you'll want to stick around because today, we're diving deep into every single detail we know so far about the Galaxy S26 Ultra. From its potential design changes and groundbreaking display technology to its rumored monster camera system, performance upgrades, and even its launch window and pricing. So sit back, relax, and let's explore what might just be the most exciting smartphone of 2026. Let's start with the design, because Samsung seems to be taking a bold new direction with the S26 Ultra. For years, Samsung has gone with a sharp, boxy look for its Ultra models, giving them a more professional, squared-off vibe compared to the rounded designs of the smaller Galaxy S phones. But the leaks suggest that the S26 Ultra could be embracing softer curves, with more rounded corners and a slimmer, sleeker profile. Some renders hint that the phone could be thinner than ever, potentially under 7mm, which would be incredible for a device packing this much technology. The shift to a more curved body might not just be for aesthetics either. It could make the phone feel more comfortable in the hand and easier to use one-handed, something that many users have been asking for. And then there's the camera design. Samsung has stuck to the floating camera lens design for a while now, where each lens appears separately on the back panel. But according to multiple leaks, that's about to change. The Galaxy S26 Ultra could return to a more traditional camera island, grouping the lenses together in a single, unified bump. This might give the phone a cleaner, more cohesive look, while also making it easier to protect the lenses with cases. Some reports even suggest that Samsung is experimenting with different materials and finishes for the back of the phone, possibly moving toward a frosted or matte texture to reduce fingerprints while keeping the device looking premium. And yes, the S Pen is expected to stick around. There were some rumors that Samsung might ditch it to make the phone thinner, but the latest leaks indicate that the S Pen will not only remain but also get a design refresh to match the softer curves of the phone itself. Now let's talk about what might be the biggest game changer: the display. Samsung already leads the industry with its AMOLED technology, but the S26 Ultra could push things to a whole new level. Rumors point to the use of M14 OLED panels with a new CoE, or color-on encapsulation technology. What this basically does is remove the traditional polarizer from the display stack, which in turn makes the screen brighter, thinner, and more power efficient. That means you could get a screen that looks stunning outdoors, has even richer colors, and still sips less power from the battery. And then there's the rumor that's been catching everyone's attention: a so-called private display mode, also nicknamed Flex Magic Pixel. Imagine this: you're on a train or sitting in a coffee shop, and you don't want the person next to you glancing over your shoulder at what you're doing. This new display feature could make the screen visible only when you're looking at it straight on, while side angles would appear dark or blank. If Samsung really pulls this off, it could be one of the most practical, real-world features we've seen in years, giving users both privacy and peace of mind. Moving on to the cameras, this is where things get really interesting. Samsung has already wowed people with its 200-megapixel sensors, but according to some leaks, the S26 Ultra could leap to a staggering 324 megapixels. Yes, you heard that right, 324 megapixels. This would be the highest resolution ever put into a smartphone camera, and it could be paired with next-gen ISOCELL HR1 technology to improve light sensitivity and detail. But here's the catch. While the megapixel number sounds amazing on paper, there are trade-offs like sensor size, noise levels, and file sizes. That's why other leaks suggest that Samsung might actually stick with a refined 200-megapixel sensor instead, but improve it with larger optics, better apertures, and smarter image processing. Either way, it's clear that Samsung is doubling down on photography. The telephoto lenses are also rumored to get upgrades, possibly with wider apertures and improved zoom performance. That means sharper details, better night photography, and more versatile shots. Combine this with Samsung's already strong computational photography and new AI-powered image processing, and the Galaxy S26 Ultra could very well become the ultimate pocket camera for creators. Of course, none of this would matter if the phone doesn't deliver on performance. Luckily, the leaks suggest that the Galaxy S26 Ultra will be an absolute powerhouse. Depending on your region, you might see either the Snapdragon 8 Elite 2 or the Exynos 2600 under the hood. Both of these chips are rumored to use advanced process nodes, potentially 2-nanometer technology, which would bring not only blazing fast performance, but also significant gains in efficiency. Imagine console-level gaming on your smartphone with smoother frame rates, less heat, and longer battery life. On top of that, Samsung is expected to include an upgraded cooling system, likely with an enhanced vapor chamber to keep thermals under control. That means whether you're gaming, editing video, or multitasking with dozens of apps, the S26 Ultra should be able to handle it all without breaking a sweat. Speaking of power, let's look at the battery and charging situation. The capacity itself is likely to stay around 5,000 milliamp hours, which has been the standard for Ultra models. But here's the good news. Charging speeds could finally get an upgrade. Rumors are pointing to 60-watt wired charging, a step up from the 45 watts we've seen in previous generations. That may not sound like a big deal compared to some Chinese brands offering 100-watt or even 120-watt charging, but for Samsung, it's a welcome improvement. With 60 watts, you could expect to get up to 75 or even 80% charge in around 30 minutes, which is much more convenient for users on the go. Wireless charging improvements haven't been heavily leaked yet, but it's safe to assume Samsung will also refine its wireless and reverse wireless charging to keep up with the competition. On the software side, the Galaxy S26 Ultra will likely launch with One UI 8.5, built on top of Android 16 or later. One UI has come a long way over the years, becoming one of the cleanest and most feature-rich skins on Android, and with this version, we can expect even more AI integration. Some leaks suggest Samsung is working on new AI-powered tools for the camera, productivity, and even personalization. Imagine your phone automatically adjusting camera settings based on what you're shooting, or intelligently summarizing notifications and messages. Combine this with the rumored privacy display feature, and the S26 Ultra could feel like a truly futuristic device. Now, when can we expect this phone to actually launch? Based on Samsung's history, most insiders are pointing to January 2026 as the official reveal window. Samsung typically holds its Galaxy Unpacked events early in the year, and the S26 Ultra is expected to be no exception. Pricing, of course, is still under wraps, but one leak from India suggests a starting price around 159,990 rupees for the 16GB RAM and 256GB storage variant. In the US, that could translate to around $1,400 or possibly more, depending on storage configurations and regional pricing strategies. With inflation and the rising costs of advanced components, don't be surprised if the S26 Ultra comes in at a premium price point, making it one of the most expensive Galaxy phones yet. So, to recap, the Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra is shaping up to be an incredible device. A sleeker, more curved design, a redesigned S Pen, a revolutionary OLED display with privacy features, a potentially record-breaking camera system, blazing fast performance with next-gen processors, improved charging speeds, and all the bells and whistles of One UI 8.5. Of course, these are all rumors for now, and as always with leaks, we have to wait for the official launch to confirm what's real and what's just speculation. But if even half of these rumors turn out to be true, the Galaxy S26 Ultra could easily set the standard for flagship smartphones in 2026 and beyond. X.